All right, so same thing. We're going to be going through, before we move on to the next chapter, we're going to be going through a few things that you guys may or may not have learned. This video is going to be pretty short. The next one is going to be a little bit longer. I apologize for that. But we just need to make sure that you understand this. Otherwise, the next chapter is going to be really difficult, or you're not going to be understanding or knowing what's going on. You're just going to try and duplicate what you see. All right, so what you guys need to know is our vertical angles. And two angles are vertical angles if their sides form pairs of opposite rays. So what an opposite ray is, well, first off, a ray is a segment that has an endpoint, and then the other side goes on to infinity. It has an arrow saying it keeps going. And an opposite ray are two rays that form a straight line that share a same common endpoint. So when we have vertical angles, their sides form two pairs of opposite rays. So that means here, one of their sides is an opposite ray, and then the other is also going to be an opposite ray. So they form two pairs of opposite rays, and another way I always said is that they're across from each other. So these two angles here will be vertical angles, and these two angles here will be vertical angles. All right, so now let's go ahead and show another picture, and let's discuss what their relationship is. So if I give you this image here and ask you which angles are vertical, well, we know that they form opposite rays, two pairs, because here we have a ray, and here we have a ray, so that's an opposite ray. Here we have a ray, and here we have a ray where they share the same endpoint, so that's an opposite ray. And remember, like I said, our vertical angles are the ones that are across from each other. So that means angle 4 and angle 5 are vertical angles. And angle 3 and angle 6 are vertical angles. Right now, the key thing that you have to know, not only being able to identify them, but when they're vertical angles, they're congruent or they're equal to each other. So angle 4 is congruent to angle 5, and angle 3 is congruent to angle 6. So that means that these angles will all have the exact same measurement. So 4 and 5. So 4 is 120 degrees. That means 5 is 120 degrees. If 6 is 60 degrees, then that means 3 is 60 degrees. So our vertical angles are always congruent or equal to each other. All right, now there's just a couple examples we're going to go through. All right, this one should be nice and easy. Find a measurement of angle B. Well, angle B and this 46 degrees, they're vertical angles. And we know that they're equal to each other. So that means the measurement of angle B is equal to 46 degrees. All right, so it's nice and easy. Our vertical angles are equal to each other. Let's do one more. All right, this one is still really easy, but it's just a little bit more work you have to do. So we look at these two angles. We know that they are vertical angles, so we know that they're equal to each other. They're congruent. So we can then say that 5x plus 3 is equal to 33 degrees. And now it's just a little bit more challenging because you just have to solve, but it's still a simple, basic algebraic equation. So 5x is then equal to 30. Then you would divide each side by 5. So x is then equal to 6. It doesn't say find the measurement of the angle. If it did, we know it's already 33 degrees. It just says find the value of x. So x is then 6 degrees. All right, that is it for this video. The next video is going to be a little bit longer.